I can't believe we're all dancing around the news tonight. This is not a Republican story tonight. The story tonight is the DSA overcoming the establishment Democrat.
We're not dancing around it, but I appreciate the pivot.
Overcoming 16-1 spending advantage and sacrificing what could have been a competitive seat. This is sacrifice. There's two things I wouldn't want to be as a Florida statewide candidate: anti-Israel and communist curious. And that's exactly what Democrats voted for in the Senate tonight. They basically took this race off.
We have to talk about the DSA lie. So something many of you probably don't know about me is that I am a recovering far-left progressive liberal.
I will not allow you to destroy our democracy. That is a violation of the Constitution. It is. It's a violation of the Constitution. I'm out of order, but y'all are doing illegal things to the state of Florida. It is out of order. It is out of order. It is out of order.
Colonel Oxvenman did out.
And what that looks like is passing common sense legislation like Medicare for all. Healthcare is a right. We should not be allowing people to deny life-saving medical procedures or medicine because it's hurting someone's bottom line, right? We need to make sure that we're passing things like universal child care so that we can ensure that parents have the opportunity to get to work and children have a strong foundation. And also definitely ending for-profit prisons. Why are we incentivizing people to not actually educate our children the way that they should be educated and ushering them into the school to prison pipeline so that they can make more money off of them when they are incarcerated?
Yes, I believe you've seen this Democrat candidate, what she stands for. This is who Democrat voted in Florida to actually represent them. At some point, when I look at it, I had to laugh all through. Though the person she was competing with, President Trump recently sent out a tweet like taking credit for packing him. I don't want to go into his story, what he did with President Trump. Now, going back into this lady, everyone on social media is saying, oh, look at who Democrat voted. At some point, there is always that past. People always bring back their videos. People always have archives to some of these people. I will abolish prison. I will abolish this. Look at what she was saying on this video. That should tell you alone that it will be extremely difficult for her to make it through in Florida. He was crushed.
And tonight, because of your sweat, because of your hard work, we won a massive victory.
All I've heard my whole life is how Republicans are racist. All I've heard from black people is that Donald Trump is racist. Not only did Republicans nominate a black man to be governor of Florida, Donald Trump endorsed a black man to run the state he lives in. And the Republicans of Florida say, yes, we want this black man too. They'll never like you. They'll never accept you.
I think this is important because it's quite literally taking a sledgehammer to the lie that Republicans don't like black people. And I'm glad to see other black creators, other black individuals seeing this and talking about it because it's the truth. Again, Republicans don't just indiscriminately dislike black people. Republicans like people who align with their values, their culture, their morals, and their ethics. The reason why I think this is important, I think it's important to put this out there to show more black people the reality. Because yeah, Democrats can say, well, they hate you because they're black, blah, 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 blah. But we should bring this to everybody's attention and be like, look, the reason we should say, look, is because this quite literally is evidence against that narrative.
We've been crisscrossing Florida. We've been knocking hundreds of thousands of doors, taking our message to all Floridians. And tonight, because of your sweat, because of your hard work, we have won a massive victory.
Okay, so if you don't know who that is, that's Byron Donalds, and the Republicans in Florida just nominated him to be the governor of Florida. He's the Republican choice for governor. And here's what I find interesting about this. We've spent years hearing that Republicans are racist and hate black people due to the color of their skin. You know they don't like you, right? You know they're not for you, right? Let's just think about this. Donald Trump endorsed a black man to run the state that he lives in.
Yes, if you take a look at how Democrats are reacting to these, they don't have time because they are seeing like it is very impossible for them to have any result in Florida. If you compare the two results, you will see it. Now, for a very long time, people used to say, oh, President Trump is like this, it's like the Republicans are like this. Why is it that President Trump choose someone like this to endorse? It's a black person, right? In Florida, that's his own state. A black person to represent him as the governor.
Colonel Alex Vindman did outraise and outspent Angie Nixon and also Senator Ashley Moody, and he lost. What does that tell you?
He was a terrible candidate. It's difficult for me to put that in words. In some of our conference calls at Axios, I would just start to rant about it. Like I was almost offended by his just inability to campaign properly.
How did he do it? Yeah.
Well, it's more like how did he not do it? I don't really know where that money was spent because you didn't really see him on television.
I have been saying this for a very long time. People often attack me on this channel for it. Since I started creating YouTube videos, at some point I usually see people, oh, why are you supporting a party who hate black people? You're a black person, things like that. And to me, I don't see it. Yeah. I decided to take an example with what just happened in Florida. The people decided to choose a black person to be their governor. And this was the result. He won massively. President Trump endorsed him. If Trump was that, he would not do this, right? This is just an example out of many.
Moody is a popular person. She'll be fine. Democratic Socialists are not going to be terribly popular in Florida. I heard
Parts of Florida.
I heard Ms. Nixon say, well, it's not about labels, which I find curious, and she joined the Socialist Party just this summer. She affixed the label to herself, only now to say, well, it's not really about labels. I actually think Ashley Moody's remarks were dead on. She's just reading out of the Democratic Socialist platform. When you align yourself with people who fundamentally would like to rip, what we know is how America works, out root and branch, you're kind of anti-American. And all these socialists, whether they're in Florida or any other state, are going to face these same kinds of attacks. So I think Ashley Moody has the advantage here. Vindman, look, I agree with you, terrible candidate. He's been kind of a grift all the way through. And the fact that these lib donors gave him $16 million.
They might have given him more, actually.
To watch him, piss it away on this grift. I don't know where it went either. I assume the consultants all have fine beach houses all up and down the coast now.
All the consultants.
If you look at how this is going, watch an interview to actually tell you that Jen Psaki asks these people how a place like Florida is extremely difficult for these people to play with. Campaign in Florida, their response was crazy. Florida is not like any state where you can stand up and do this easily. I'm here to observe. I'm going to end here. God bless you. As of the short clips you are going to see, that's for a white gratin. You can always keep.
Crazy lady in Wisconsin who hates Thanksgiving lost by a whisker.
I think people who are going to make it harder to win.
Left and
that didn't have the White House or the presidents.
The thing is, can you?
Quick question: if you're here tonight,
whatever it is
well, I bring it up because
it
sounds.
Explain what happened so people know.
They were releasing how much
40 years old that the sun and the moon were not the same thing.
Us wants to know the strangest part of going.
Yeah.
That's
so.
Wow. Dust Blossom turned into this fabulous actress.
Sunny from The View. I am so sick of you and Whoopi.
Don't do it. Yeah. We will be okay if you.
Diversity for diversity's sake being crammed down our throats.
The Hunger Games. Loves to work. It's, I had a group of guys,
is cool.
And of that UFC fight, because
do this again. All eyes on California. You can see exactly what's happening.
It was on here in the Golden State.
In 39 days, we will know.
In front of people. And so this is my life.
Telemachus,
Penelope,
Antinous, Odysseus,
Athena,
Telemachus.
This clip of Elliot Page is going to be what takes the Odyssey movie.